So, is this the best PRS SE guitar made to date? Well, I think it might be. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am checking out the brand new PRS SE McCarty. This was sent into the channel by the guys from Sweetwater, so huge shout out to them. Now this is a brand new model from PRS, and as I mentioned, yes, it is the PRS SE McCarty. This is the traditional single cut. There is also a double cut version. Gotta give huge props to PRS. They never withhold, their coolest models. They bring them down to a lower price point in the SE range, and it just enables all sorts of people to try out these incredible guitars. Now, when I was chatting with the guys from Sweetwater, they said, Darrell, use the guitar gallery feature, and it is just straight up amazing. You can choose your guitar model, so in this case, obviously, PRS SE McCarty, and I could see the different finish options. I could see close-ups of the front, the side, the back, even the weight and the serial number, so you can verify that the guitar that you looked at in the picture is the actual guitar, and there's no surprises. Especially important, I think anyways, when you're talking about like a flame top, or in this case these are veneers. And yeah, you could just pick the guitar that you think will suit you the best. So there is no better buying experience than using the guitar gallery. So Sweetwater absolutely kills it from that aspect. So as I mentioned, no surprises. You know exactly what your guitar is going to be like when it arrives. Now there are a few elements on this guitar that make it stand out from other guitars in this price tier and from other instruments in general. One of those things is scale length. Now, if we look at the headstock again, as you can see, this is the McCarty 594, and that stands for 24.594. So that is the scale length of this guitar. If you guys remember, Fender is 25.5, a little more tension on those strings, a little bit more twang, a little bit more chime because of that scale length. And then Gibson is 24 3/4, gives you a little bit slinkier feel on those strings. Well, this is 24.6 for all intents and purposes. And yes, just has that easy bending feel to it, real slinky. So from that standpoint, definitely plays a little bit more like a Les Paul. All right, enough with the specs. I will link to this guitar down in the video description below for full specs. You can check it out there. It will link you to the Sweetwater Guitar Gallery where you can see all the information on a specific guitar before you decide to buy. All right, you guys, let's kick things off with a little bit of crunch. I'm going to start in the bridge pickup, then we'll go to the neck, and we'll try some clean tones and some heavier tones as well. But let's just start with some crunch. Here we go. Yeah, that's a nice kind of creamy slash throaty neck pickup. Really nice. And then when you hit the bridge there, you can get a nice piercing kind of... And then, yeah, if you want just sort of like that thicker kind of fuzzier kind of tone, really works well in the neck. All right, now that we've heard a few tones on the McCarty SE, let's talk about the overall construction, the ergonomics, and the weight. Now, let's start off with the weight, because when you're talking about a mahogany guitar that is a single cut, more traditional, these things can get pretty heavy. This one came in under 8 pounds. That is phenomenal for a guitar like this. Kind of blew me away when I opened it up. I mean, I looked at Sweetwater, so I knew what the weight was going to be, but still, until you have it in hand, you're like, this is light. This is almost Stratocaster territory. Really awesome. Now, as for the other elements of playability, of course, we've got the PRS lower horn scoop. That makes just getting up to those upper octaves much easier. It's aesthetically pleasing, at least to me, and is very, very functional. Other than that, we've got a little bit of a belly cut there, something that you won't find on a traditional Les Paul. So very comfortable, very lightweight, and there's a little bit of a fall off from the top to the edge. That just makes it nice for your right hand. Nothing really digs in. Once PRS adds like a more generous carve to the SE lineup, that's the final, that's the final element that would just make these guitars unstoppable. Already, they're just such a great bargain and they feel really good to play. Now, negative elements for playability. For me personally, it's just the painted neck, and I know a lot of guitars have the painted neck, but yeah, it's just a little bit sticky, I find. Once you play on it for like 10 or 15 minutes, your hand just gets used to it. But I am used to, on most of my guitars that I go to and play every day, they mostly have satin necks on them. So that's just one element to be aware of. Of course, that's what's to be expected for a more traditional guitar design. And other than that, no headstock dive. As I mentioned, the body's so light, but the headstock is as well, so no dive at all. So for a traditional guitar, really playable. Now, as for the overall construction, well, I was anticipating no issues with this guitar. PRS SE has a good reputation in terms of, caring about the small details. And then you combine that with buying from Sweetwater, which means they open up the guitar, they do their full inspection on it from the very tip of the headstock. They check, the nut, the plastics, the fingerboard, the body, the finish, the metals, the hardware. I think they even do the pots and switches and all that kind of stuff. They just do the full rundown. So I was ready to just plug it in and enjoy it. And sure enough, yes, it's set up really good. Now, in terms of the PRS work, fretwork is actually really nice on this. The guitar retails for just under $1,000, and you get nice polished ends, which I was pleased about. I even checked way up high, right by the neck pickup up in this area here. Very nice as well. So PRS did a great job considering this is their more budget line. It feels really premium, and it's a great guitar. So is this the best SE guitar that PRS has made to date? Well, it just might be. I think for me personally, it's between this one, the McCarty single cut, and the Paul's guitar. I think those two in the SE lineup are my favorite. Love the Silver Sky SE, love the Custom 24 SE. I've played many hours on all those guitars. And yeah, this one just really does it for me in terms of like the look, the carve. I like this kind of the black gold finish, really unique and interesting. And combine it with the great tones and the lightweight, and man, you've got a great guitar. So huge thanks to Sweetwater for sending this one in. I will link to it down in the video description below. You can check it out there if you're so inclined. I have a feeling these are going to be pretty popular in the SE lineup between the single cut and the double cut versions of the McCarty. Only available on their super expensive core model. And now that it's down in a price tier where more people can afford them and enjoy them, I think it's going to be a hit. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and being a part of the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. Other than that, have yourself a great week. Take care.